Aloha, and welcome to another episode of You Don't Know Disney, where I learn ya on some magical things you probably didn't know. Depending on who you are, of course. I do know some people who know just about as much about Disney as I do, but this is for those of you who have so much more important things to fill your heads up with than inconsequential Disney trivia. That being said, today we're talking about Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room in Disneyland. Located in Adventureland, this was the very first show of its kind when it debuted in 1963, and ever since it has been enchanting guests with singing birds, flowers, tiki heads, and eccentric cast members named Maynard. Walt took his inspiration from many varied places, but the spark of inspiration for the Tiki Room came from a mechanical bird in a cage that he purchased in New Orleans. Now, Walt was so taken with this trinket that he set his Disneyland Imagineers to study the bird in order to figure out what made it tick so that he could utilize similar technology to entertain guests at Disneyland, and by that time they were quite ready for some new adventures. After the mechanical bird code was cracked, Imagineers were faced with the task of creating a brand new sit-down restaurant for Disneyland, themed to a Hawaiian tiki paradise, as the US had just bought Hawaii, and we were still pretty stoked about it then. So using a new technology that they had dubbed audio animatronics, Disney created a cast of over 50 animated birds to populate the restaurant. And the birds would whistle back and forth to one another while guests enjoyed their island-inspired meals. And very soon into the process, however, the simple back-and-forth calling between birds was reimagined into witty dialogue, incorporating the voice talents of such Disney legends as Wally Bogue and Thurl Ravenscroft. As the show grew more and more intricate, the idea of a sit-down restaurant began to seem less and less appealing. It was even speculated that the guests would immediately stop eating their meals as the room sprung to life around them in order to enjoy the show, which meant everyone would be rushed to finish eating after the show was over. And wanting to avoid nasty things like indigestion at his happiest place on Earth, Walt eventually decided to scrap the idea of a restaurant and have his Tiki Room be a sit-down show experience. Now, this decision was made very abruptly, very soon before opening, after the show building was up and the animatronics were installed. And as a result, there are still remnants of the attraction's former function as a restaurant, which included napkin holders built into the enchanted fountain in the middle of the room, and also the fact that it is the only Disney attraction with its own restrooms attached. When the attraction was launched, it was titled Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, a subtle reminder that Walt was unable to find a sponsor for the attraction and funded it with his own money. Perched high above the Tiki Room outside in Adventureland was a charming little parrot known as the Barker Bird. Featuring the voice talents of Wally Bogue, Barker's mission was to give passers-by a glimpse of the innovative new technology they would experience inside the Tiki Room, and entice them to pay the upcharge to see the show that was separate from regular park admission. As the years went by, Barker became increasingly difficult to maintain, as he was constantly exposed to the elements, and over time Disney decided to remove the character, as by then the Tiki Room pretty much spoke for itself. The character can still be seen today, however, in the Walt Disney Family Museum, and his display even gives guests a chance to experiment with programming his movements using a joystick similar to what was used by the first Imagineers. Disneyland's Tiki Room remains a popular attraction even today, and stands as a testament to the imagination that gave way to animated pirates, ghosts, creepy dolls. But let's not forget what the Tiki Room really taught us, that from the very beginning, the concept of audio animatronics was for the birds. Thanks for watching You Don't Know Disney. See you real soon.